What's good, YouTube? It is your boy Joe, and I'm back at you. Yes, you, with another video. If you can't tell already by the title of this video by itself, we're going to be doing a review and reaction, sorta, to the Charmed reboot that aired on October 14th. Before we get into the video, I do want to let you guys know that if you have not done so already, if you're new to this channel, if you've never even seen my face before, welcome. Please make sure that you are subscribing to my channel. If you like this video, please remember to give this video a big thumbs up. So, I have a long list of the different things I want to talk about. There you go. Oh, there you go. And of course, leave any of those comments down below of what you agree with and what you expect to see as well from this season. I know that this show has had a lot of mixed reviews. I decided to take a look at, social media and see what everybody else was saying about it. And there was so many different things people were saying. Some people said they hated it. Some people said they loved it. Some people said they don't know how to feel about it. And if you really want to know the truth about it, I'm one of those people that's like sitting right there in the middle. Like, I don't know how to feel about it. I feel like the show has a lot of potential. I feel like the acting is not as bad as I thought it was going to be. The special effects are like amazing. Like, have y'all not seen the special effects in this show? Like, damn, what type of money are they spilling out for it to have like this type of stuff? And we're going to talk a little bit more about that as well. So I just want to jump right into it. So immediately jumping into the show, of course I guess they kind of set everything up with us meeting the mom and seeing how the mom has a really close connection with her two daughters. And how she would like for them to remain, very close. Now, immediately, I know a lot of people said this straight off the bat, don't look at this show and expect to see the original. But honestly, the original was written all over this episode. So, again, we're introduced to the mom. The mom is trying to, keep her daughters close together, let them know that, nothing is stronger than the connection that you two share. And then you see it quickly escalate to her pulling out her book of shadows and trying to unbind their magic. And that kind of reminds me of course, in the first season or in the first series or the first run of the show, how Grams was trying to unbind the sisters' magic so they could be prepared for what was to come. And no difference here. And unfortunately, the mom, much like Grams, met an untimely death. Because, well, Grams kind of died because, she was like, oh. So we have Maggie and then we have Mel. Maggie, I do believe, is the older sister, while Mel is the youngest sister that's currently in college. And Maggie is the oldest sister that happens to be gay, which is pretty cool. I do like the fact that they introduced that into the series. But as Mel is at the sorority house, we're doing the rush with the meet and greet with the other sorority sisters or whatever. They receive a text message from their mom saying, "Get home quickly, something has happened. Hurry, get here." And Maggie went to go get her sister, and they race home to come home to find out that the house is like cold as hell, and they are unfortunately met with the fact that their mom has now passed away. And then the show kind of skips 3 months ahead of time. You have Maggie and Mel, and then here comes another girl, Macy. Macy is their long lost sister that they did not even know they had, and I'm not exactly sure if Macy is the oldest or like the youngest or in the middle. I'm not quite sure. But she's definitely introduced into the group as because she sees there is a newspaper article about the mom who's the teacher at the university that she was just hired to, and she has unfortunately passed away. So she went to the sisters because she was like, I feel a really strong connection with the girls. And she goes to the house and says, hey, I think I'm your long lost sister. And then it's just like, what the hell? Mel, I want to say, it's just like, no, you're not our sister. I don't know who you are, bitch. Go away. Who are you? And Maggie was just like in shock. I don't think she said too much of anything, but she's really in shock. And by the way, did y'all see their house? Their house was gorgeous. It is big. I guess that's just like a Wiccan thing or something. But the house is gorgeous. It's huge. It's very spacious. I wouldn't want to live there because it's too much house for me. And I feel like you can hear things go creak in the dark or whatever. I'm not here for it. But the house is absolutely gorgeous. And it seems like it's fit for a clan of witches. When the girls come together and they start realizing that they have magic, their guardian, White Lighter, who does not orb, by the way, no orbing anywhere, which is like, wow, a kick in the face. Y'all could at least kept the orbing in there, but I guess not. But it's okay. It's okay. Things happen. Technology has advanced since the early 2000s. Whatever. I was looking, I was just like, okay, they brought them all together. The guy, Harry, who's their White Lighter, was just like, hey, you guys are witches. Welcome to the clan. Y'all have 24 hours to figure out what y'all want to do. Do y'all want to be witches, or do y'all want to not be witches? And that means everything that has had magical intervention will be undone. And come to find out, the mom actually wanted to have Macy, who's the long lost daughter, there because she casted a spell to have Macy in the same area and get accepted into the college, the university, so she could start working there. So as he's introducing the girls to their new magical powers, where Macy, well, hold on, I'm gonna just go down the list. So Maggie, who's the oldest, she can freeze time. Macy can move things, telekinesis, she has telekinesis, and then Mel has the ability to read minds, which is pretty cool. I mean, it's very canon to the original, but it's with a little twist, which is pretty cool. When he hands them their Book of Shadows, the very first entry seems to be a picture and I guess a bio of Melinda Warren. Now, this is where things get interesting. In a sense, they can kind of open it up for the original Hollowell sisters to come back into the line. Now, if you do not remember, or if you need a little help remembering, in the original series, the Hollowell sisters were a direct descendant of Melinda Warren, which was the original witch, which started the whole thing. Now, for this Book of Shadows, meaning that the Book of Shadows based off of entries from the lineage of sisters, or the lineage of women that have held the power and have added on to the book, which, you know, back in the original, Graham's added on a lot of different spells, you know, that stuff that she's been through in her life, she's added that into the Book of Shadows, with Melinda Warren being an entry in that Book of Shadows, meaning she's related to them. Now, with Melinda Warren being in this Book of Shadows, I would think, this is just me, this is a conspiracy, I don't know, this is just a theory, but I'm thinking there's a possibility that Mel, Macy, and Maggie are descendants of Melinda Warren, which could possibly mean that they are like cousins of the Hollowells. And if that's the case, I wonder though, are the Hollowells still like charmed ones, or did they just have magic now? Well, I would think that would open up the ability for, you know, the Hollowells to come back into the storyline somehow, some way, maybe in the near future, because why wouldn't they? Now, okay, so now we're going to fast forward a little bit. When Mel was headed over to the campus to, I guess, go to the sorority house or whatever, and she met with the demon dog, I kind of like that approach. Now, in the previous video that I did a few months back, I did say that I was feeling a little supernatural-ish from this, and it still remains the same. I still feel like this is giving me supernatural vibes. Maybe it's because of the technology has advanced since then, so the graphics are like on point, but the demon dog kind of remind me of in Supernatural, how they had the hell dogs. That was a pretty cool touch or whatever. And then Harry was just like, hey, wherever there was a demon dog, that means there's a demon owner somewhere. We have to go find the owner. And that's where we kind of find out that baking soda kind of eliminates the possession that the demons have over the humans. I wonder if that works in real life, because some of these folks need to be vanquished. And that kind of leads us into them going to the sorority house, because now there's a demon dog, so now they have to go find the demon owner. So they go to the sorority house and they automatically assume it's like the head bitch in charge, and she's just like, no bitch, it's not me. Like, now I'm just covered in baking soda, what the hell? And that's where we get the introduction of the whole Jeremy type of situation, where he invited Mel over into a private room, and she touched him, and when she touched him, she read his mind, and it said, you know, prepare to die, bitch. And she's like, oh my god. And you know, and it seemed like, and I actually made this, I made this correlation back with Charm, that when they received their powers, everything about them kind of enhanced, including their abilities to fight. Now with Phoebe, she did have a little bit more extra oomph when she did a kick or a punch or something like that, which flew the person across the room. And Mel was no different. When she realized who, whatever that guy name is, when she realized who he was, she kicked him and he literally flew across the room. So that kind of gave me the same insight, like, okay, cool. So that means you being a witch kind of elevated your fighting abilities a little bit more, which is pretty cool. I thought that was a nice little touch. After the whole incident with the demonic man or the possessed man or whatever, they still felt like, okay, something's not right. Our mom died, and Macy actually, not Macy, yeah, Macy made this discovery when, you know, she was talking to Maggie and Mel, and she was just like, you know, I didn't really get a chance to meet her, and Mel's like, oh, well, lucky for you, you know, I believe if it's not recorded, it's not true. So as they was sitting there on the bed watching and reminiscing about the mom, Macy came up with this bright idea, like, hey, it's cold. Didn't you guys say that when you walked into the house it was cold? Something's not right. So we got this demon to unpossess this human, but something's still not adding up. And I guess that's a good thing about her being a scientist. So I feel like Macy's going to come with a lot of logic this season, which is really, really cool. Whereas Mel is probably going to be based off of emotion. And, no, Maggie will be based off of emotion. And Mel will be trying to live her best life, but she can't live her best life because now she's a witch. They were trying to figure out who the demon was that killed their mom. They did not know who killed their mom. It was just a mystery. So what Mel did, Mel actually went to the school because they were trying to protest this professor from actually coming back to work. And the professor is the person that actually had issues with the mom. So when Mel thought about how it was cold and everything started to try to connect in her mind, she was like, oh my God, we have to go save Mel and fast because I think she's in danger. So they get to the school, and Mel has already drifted off from the rest of the people because she's just that bitch. Okay, obviously she's just that bitch. She's looking for trouble. She come face to face with the professor that was wheelchair ridden or wheelchair bound, and this motherfucker stood up. And when I tell you he stood up, I was like, oh shit, it's about to go down. It went down. So come to find out, he's a whole demon. Come to find out, he's a whole demon, and it seems like he's an entry-level demon, which actually works because the power of 3 can definitely vanquish an entry-level demon. But when I tell you guys, the graphics on this demon was like the bomb. Like, you couldn't get past it. It was amazing. Like, it was the bomb.fucking-com, seriously. He was just so cool looking. I don't know. I feel like he was just cool. Honestly, well, no pun intended, but when he like dissipated into nothing but fog, and Harry was like, Macy, in order to, you know, fight this as the power of 3, you have to call your sisters to you because you have the power of telekinesis. You can call them to you. So she held out her hands, like, well, you can't see my hands, but she held out her hands and they just came to it like, and then it was like, I would assume in Latin, the power of 3 would set us free. And then next thing you know, the Iceman comes back up together and then falls out. Now, one thing I will say about that falling out part is that it wasn't as dramatic as it was in the original series. Like, these demons will blow the fuck up and like tear up everything in their way. Like, that's how dramatic their vanquish was. But he just fell out. He was like, and the sisters was like, that's for killing my mom. And he was just like, I didn't kill her. This is the beginning. Shit is about to get real. Point blank period. Then he died. And they was just looking like, so is he gonna blow up or nah? Harry was just like, blah, 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 and then boom, he blew up. So that's the actual show in itself. Now, this is why I feel indifferent about the show so far, just based off of the first episode. It was a lot. As far as the special effects go, I really do appreciate the special effects, but I'm thinking budget wise. Like, I want to see how far this show can go, because obviously it has the potential it needs to move from season to season. But if your budgeting is not right, and I don't know, I'm not into financing, I don't know, don't ask me about budgeting or anything like that, but I feel like, and this is going based off of the original, the other show that they tried to do, the CW, called The Secret Circle, that only lasted one season because the special effects on it was so high value that I don't want this show to be canceled because the special effects is high valued and the plot or the viewers just don't match up with it. So I'm really hoping that they will possibly cool down on the special effects a little bit, but I think it's pretty cool either way it go. Definitely. Like I said, it's just the first episode, so that's why I feel indifferent about it. I know when I was scrolling down my timeline on Facebook, one of my friends on Facebook was saying, you know, when you watch this show, you cannot keep or have the fact that it's a reboot of an original, of a classic in your mind, because that's where you would get disappointed. You're trying to have it live up to the standard or the legacy of the original charms, but this charm is trying to create a whole new legacy for itself. So that's why I'm not stressing it too much. I want to see how this show progresses as it progresses, and see if there's any way that that they can somehow tie in the original with the new and make it just the best show ever. That's just my hope. I'm hoping it works out that way. I really do. Now, at the end of this episode, the sisters decided to pull out a Ouija board and contact the mom. So they had the Ouija board out, and they was like, "Mom, are you here? Are you with us?" And it pointed to yes. And in very cryptic like style, it said, "Do not trust Harry." I'm really, really nervous to see what that means. Like, don't trust Harry. Harry's your white lighter. Why don't you trust him? I was talking to my friend Renzo, and he was saying that Harry might be a dark lighter, and that he is the big bad that Harry mentioned in the original when he had the girls tied up, and he was saying there was like 3 steps to the apocalypse, basically. And he couldn't really say what the last step was because he didn't really know. But my friend Renzo was just like, what if he's the last step? What if his end goal is to kill all 3 of them and gain their power? Because he said to every generation, almost like Buffy, and to every generation a charmed power is created or born, but it's just them. They don't have any kids, so their powers don't have anywhere to go, and maybe Harry's trying to absorb their powers and then take over the world with it. Which I thought that would be an amazing plot twist. Like, bitch, that's good as fuck. Why not? That would be like one of those moments like, what the fuck? But I don't know. I don't know if I should trust Harry. Harry seems legitimate, but Harry seems legit, but he creeps me out a little bit because it's just like, there's something off about you, but I just can't explain what it is. Not yet. And I'm really interested to see how it's gonna work. For real. So, and Harry's already behind them like, hey, ladies, here I am. Did you request for me? And I'm just like, bitch, ain't nobody request for you. Our mom is trying to warn you about us. Well, warn us about you. So we shall definitely see how this works out. I'm really, really excited to see how this season go. Hopefully you guys are too. What are your thoughts about the first episode? And again, like I said in my previous video, and if you haven't seen that, definitely make sure that you're clicking the little pop-up that's going to pop up in like a couple seconds. I said, we're going to have to give this show like a couple episodes in to get the feel of it completely. I'm indifferent right now. I'm really hoping that in the next 2 or 3 episodes that does change. But in the event that it doesn't, then of course I always have the Legacy of Charmed on Netflix to go back to. For real. But I really want to thank you guys for watching this video. I cannot wait to see what next week will bring, and of course more videos will be coming on this. I'm probably going to do like a review and reaction and theory on it, like for the first couple episodes, and then I'm going to see how this show really plays out before I do another video on it. But who knows what I might feel like doing. Please remember to give this video a big thumbs up. Let me know how you feel about the show. Let me know how you feel about this video. Do you agree that Harry might be a dark lighter that's looking to steal the sisters' power and take over the world? there'll be a plot twist for that ass. If so, let me know down in the comment section below, or give me a big thumbs up. Make sure that you are sharing this video with all your friends and all your fellow charmed ones. Let's get this show like to top notch, like #1, because if we could do it with the original, we can definitely do it with this one. And you know, I know a lot of people have mixed feelings about it, but it's don't think too heavy into it. Don't look at this show and expect to see Piper, Phoebe, or Paige just pop up out of nowhere. Expect to see a whole new generation of sisters growing up or creating a new legacy for themselves that possibly, if we play our cards right, can be spun off into in various or different series as time progresses on, which will be pretty cool. But that's all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much again for watching. I just have a lot going on in my head, and of course, if you follow me on Instagram or Twitter, you know, follow me on those places and let's have this discussion. Or just make sure you're commenting down below and let's continue this discussion, because I'm really interested to see how this is going to play out again. Anyway, thank you again. Power. Shit, I'm just pulling all the strings out my damn shirt. She's not cute. Let me turn this upside down. The power of 3 will set you free. I can't.